Good morning, back on the trail. It's 6:30. I wanted to get started earlier, but this was the earliest ride I could get back to this trailhead here off of Highway 173 after the Mojave Dam. Here's Hesperia, and it's going to be very hot today. My goal is to try to safely get myself around these hillsides at least 8 to 10 miles before I can get to the roads that I could possibly bail out of here if it gets too hot. But I'm trying to get to Silverwood Lake as fast as possible. I had contemplated whether I should skip ahead to the picnic area at Silverwood Lake just to not have to try to rush over these hillsides because my knee, I don't want to push it too hard. Feels okay right now, but pushing it too quickly might aggravate it again. Sun is really hot already. It's supposed to be record temperatures today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely nervous with the heat and cold. Both of those things really just make me a little more anxious. I just seem to get cold easier now that I've gotten older, and the heat bothers me more as I've gotten older. So when I was younger, it seemed a lot easier to tolerate all that. So I'm just gonna do what I feel comfortable with today. I don't wanna do parts of the trail or certain days where it might be dangerous for me or feel really uncomfortable being out here. So I'm not gonna compromise my safety just for the videos. If I have to skip ahead a couple miles, I'm not gonna feel bad about it. I've done this part of the trail 2 times already, recently in 23, and yeah, it's really just going in and out of hillsides up to Silverwood Lake. It's beautiful, but I don't like rushing through it. I'm gonna see how far I can get in a mile and like what my pace is when I'm actually making an effort to go a little faster. That'll help me decide if I'm gonna try to get off the trail a couple miles early and just jump ahead a couple miles, or if I'm gonna continue. Because I have really till about 11 o'clock, maybe 12 at the latest, before it's really hot. It'll be like at least around 90 degrees by that time, if not more, in these hillsides. I wanted to give a special shout out to Jonalyn. Put her name or her YouTube channel in the description below so you can check out her channel. But she's back on the PCT this year also, trying to knock out more miles. But she gave me, you can't see it, but she gave me a pretty good stash of KT tape. So I may tape up my knee when I take a mini break just to kind of mitigate any issues with it. I don't know if it's gonna help, but maybe stabilize it a little bit more today, especially while I'm trying to go a little bit faster. But thank you, Jonalyn, you're a lifesaver. Jonalyn, the one who gave me the KT tape, she just texted me from the Joshua Inn where she's staying, and she's holding up the buff bandana. I guess she spoke with Bobette, who I was hiking with, confirmed that it was my bandana, and she's holding it up, so I'll insert the picture here. But so now we're gonna try to connect up here at Silverwood Lake so I can get my buff back. We've been through so much together. I was so bummed out. So pretty cool how that happens. I just had an idea. I'm gonna collect some water here at the Grass Valley Creek coming up here in 0.3 miles. And then soon after that, about 0.6 miles ahead, is where the PCT gets very close to the highway that's over there, 173. 173 is the highway that runs along up to Silverwood Lake. So what I think I'm gonna do is to keep my continuous footpath and not have somebody pick me up and bypass all those miles. What I will do is just road walk the 173 all the way to Silverwood Lake. That way I'm keeping a continuous footpath, and it might be a couple miles shorter than the PCT. I'll have to look and see. But in all honesty, I did extra miles yesterday I didn't tell you guys about. I went up the trail 1.4 miles, and that's where I discovered my knee was still kind of pinging a bit, and it was hot. I was just getting really nervous about that. So I wasn't too far from Joshua Inn, so I turned around. So I actually did 2.8 extra miles yesterday at PCT. That really didn't count. So we'll just call it even. Part of just, using strategy, and you don't always have to be like complete purist. If you want to be, that's great, but like I said, I've been through here before. I would love to just stay to the PCT, but I love the idea of getting there quicker and then staying on the highway. I know that if I have any issues, I can call Ellen. That way, maybe the air will be better too, because it gets pretty stagnant up here in the hillsides. It's pretty shaded right now, but as soon as that sun comes up over the top, it's already hot. It's gonna start cooking in here. I'd rather just kind of get out of this area and onto the road. Let's just get to Silverwood Lake. I like that plan, because that way I'm not breaking up my footpath, and it feels safer to me, for me. This looks very pretty up here. I haven't seen anybody else on trail yet. I'm pretty sure I was the first one in this area this morning, but how beautiful. All right, well, I'm gonna skip across this thing on some rocks, try not to get my feet wet. Yeah, it should be doable. And then I'll filter some water on the other side. I'm so glad that I just kind of was thinking about that as I was going along. You know, sometimes you don't always know what your plan's gonna be, and I'm one of those people who has to feel it out. But in the course of walking, you know, the four and a half miles that I have to this point, I've kind of figured out a plan that I like. And that makes me feel comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm cheating or, and even if I did want to skip ahead, that's not a big deal, especially it seems I've done it, but everybody's got to hike their own hike. Let's get over that bull crap of, oh my God, you're not a PCT hiker if you didn't do every square inch in a year. You're always making it up with side trails and blue blazes to towns, and like me going in and deciding I want to go back. I'm covering extra miles. So I just want you guys to know, if you want to do this hike, do it your own way. Don't let people pressure you to do it the way that they think it should be done. There's no rule book out there or any one way to do this hike. It should fit however feels comfortable and safe for you. And that's all I have to say to that. But anyway, time to collect some water. I just collected 4 liters. I think it's a little more than I need, but I don't mess around with the heat. Me and having to ration water in the past. We're not playing around with the heat. I do hate rushing through this area. There's been a ton of flowers, more butterflies than I've seen the entire trip. Lots of birds. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. But yeah, some days you just have to keep going, whether you want to or not. Desert lilac, scrub jay. I have a lot of new people on my channel that don't necessarily know my experience, but typically what I like to do when it's going to be really hot, I mean, there's obviously several ways to tackle the heat, but one of them is to get up very, very, very early in the morning before, while it's still dark, and get hiking. And that's typically what I like to do. But unfortunately, the way I was situated with my camping last night at Joshua Inn, I wasn't able, and I didn't know if I could get an Uber back to the trailhead really early, but I would have wanted to have started probably 4:45. I don't mind getting up really early for the heat because it makes me feel better. But that's typically what I do, is start really early in the morning. And then, you know, obviously I time it to where I can get to a safe spot by 11-ish, somewhere around there, before it starts to get too hot. But that's typically what I do with my planning. It just didn't work out that way because of where I'm at. And that's okay. It's just, I have to figure out a different way to get through here than I typically would. So that way I'm not always having to road walk and detour and all that stuff. But it's all right. It's all part of the adventure, and, you know, being smart, planning your logistics and what works best and safest for you when you're out here. Sorry, I'm not trying to be on my soapbox all morning. Just happens to be the way things are working out this morning. But feeling good so far. Knees feeling good, but I've also been climbing. I haven't been really going downhill too much. And I'm just breathing hard because I'm going a little faster than my normal pace just to make miles. But getting close to the highway up here where we're going to intersect, or close by, and then I'll get off there and start road walking. There's so many of these bush poppies up here. There's the highway that I'm headed towards. All right, I just intersected the dirt road here. Here's where the PCT continues up. I'm gonna go down here, and then there's the highway down there. And here, Highway 173. Fortunately, most of the traffic's going out because it's early morning. So I will be walking on the opposite side of the road and with very few cars heading towards me because it's not a very wide highway. Well, most of the rest of the walk looks like it's just the straightaway, which is good. So I didn't have too much of the hilly, windy, bendy stuff that was scary. So I have plenty of room to get off the road here. These sheep are looking at me like I'm crazy. They're like, what is that thing out there on the road? I've got my umbrella up. It's not helping because most of the sun is in the back of me, but at least it makes me look larger on this road so people can see me better. This is not fun. I'm just telling you. I'm trying not to walk too fast, which is the tendency to, because it burns the bottom of your soles of your feet. You get blisters and it can hurt your legs, and you just overwork things because trying to walk too fast with a heavy pack. It's not gonna last forever. Right now it does. It feels like it. Well, I'm paralleling the PCT really closely. So the PCT runs right underneath there and along that green fence there and by these big pipe things up here. And then it's going to join the road up here. So that's where I'm going to rejoin the PCT. I'm almost there. And there's a wonderful shoulder now. So I'm glad that's over with. What are these swallows doing? They look like they're collecting mud. Let's see. To make their nests. I'm pretty tired after that because I know I walked probably twice the normal speed. So my feet are a little burned out. So I'm probably gonna take a break somewhere up ahead if I can find a spot. And I need to see like how much time I have to get up and around Silverwood Lake, because even though it's by the lake, it's up on the hillside around the lake. So it's not really right next to the water. So you're still up on the hillsides. But I'm going to see how much further I have to go to the campground where I'm going to meet Jonalyn or Grit to get my buff and probably wait out the heat, figure out what I'm going to do this afternoon. Alan pulled over there. He saw me. There's proof that I turned down a ride to the campground. Like an idiot. I probably should have taken it. So I'm gonna go walk the hillsides to get there. It's not too hot yet, so I might be eating my words here in about an hour and a half. So I'm hoping PCT is gonna be kind to me. All right, I'm ready to get off this road area. Back on the PCT. At least going around the lake up there. We're gonna be going up there, I think, somewhere in that area. But it's gonna be some pretty steep trail to get back up there. But it's a beautiful, beautiful trail once you're up top there. Proud of myself for turning that ride down. I have little regrets, but not too big regrets, at least not yet. I'm just trying to keep my continuous footpath. I don't feel like I'm in dire straits right now, so I think I'm okay. I've got so much water I need to drink, and I could probably have enough to cool myself down and wet my shirt if I need to. And worst case scenario, I can take that steep downhill to the lake and go cool off if I have to. I just don't want to do that to my knee today because it's behaving. So I'm trying to keep it away from those steep downs today if I can. No fancy videos today, people, sorry. It's just one of those days where you're just trying to get some miles in before it gets too hot. So it's gonna be days like that. But look over here, that's generally where I'm gonna be heading, towards those mountains. Mostly tomorrow. Climbing up there. Taking my first quick pack off break. Actually, it's still on, but I'm sitting on a rock, so that works. But it's only gonna be about like 6 minutes because I want to get there. But I just need to take a quick break in the shade. It feels really good here. And I'm gonna just keep drinking. I got electrolytes, I've got my salt and vinegar potato chips, I've got nuts and dried fruit in here. I had a Crunch Bar and peanut butter while I was walking on the road. And then I've got tons of water on me, so it should be set. and the umbrella. But there's gonna be a lot of brush ahead, so hopefully the umbrella is not gonna get in the way. All right, let's go. Oh man, that was a steep climb up from the road. But look at this. Watch. Come along with me. Yeah, it gets you all warmed up doing that. Look at that view. At least there's a bit of a breeze up here. Whew. Okay, catch your breath. All right, let's get this long, windy trail around the lake taken care of so we can get to the campground. It's about 4 miles ahead. So I should get there probably by 12:30 at the latest. It's gonna be super hot by the time I get there. Now I have the option to bail out down to one of the beaches here if I get overheated so I can go to the water, but I'm really not wanting to do that steep downhill because I've done it before and it's really, really tough. I mean, it's really, really steep and I don't want to do that to my knees if I don't have to, but I will if I have to. So many flowers up here. All right, guys, it's been another weird day today. This section is kicking as you can see, I'm so red. That's with sunscreen on. It's just so hot and everybody is having a really hard time today. This is our first really big, intense heat wave in the desert, and it's been in the 90s, probably, I would say, probably over 100 real feel. So everybody's just kind of having a hard day. I was gonna night hike tonight, but it's still supposed to be super hot up until 7 o'clock tonight. And now I'm just, I guess, kind of tired and beat down from waiting out the heat this afternoon. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get up at like 3:30 in the morning, kind of like I did with the Aqueduct 23, and just try to hike the rest of the way to the Cajon past McDonald's. So I'll cover that, that mileage between here and there first thing in the morning. I'm here at the hike and bike section of the Silverwood Lake camping area. So there's a lot of hikers that are coming in. One girl said, "This is my last day on the PCT." She had such a hard day today with the heat. She's from Australia, and that's just one example of people having a hard time, and everyone was running to go get her some water and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, it's a little different when you're actually out here doing this thing. All right, guys, it is the end of the day. It's after 8 o'clock. It's getting late. Gotta get to bed because I'm gonna get up really early tomorrow. So much happened today, but then like so little happened today. I started the day at Joshua Inn, and that was mile 314.4, something like that. And then I ended up here at Silverwood Lake. This is mile 328. Tomorrow is going to be even hotter. It's going to be 96 to 100 degrees in that range in these hillsides. So we're all getting up early in these campsites tomorrow morning and going to try to push that 13 miles to McDonald's from here. So my plan is to try to get up somewhere between 3:30 and 4, somewhere around there. And it's funny because I'm like not tired at all. I didn't do like big miles today, so I feel, you know, a little bit more awake this evening, so I hope I can sleep good. But anyway, we're gonna get up early in the morning and knock out those miles. You know, it's not always gonna be perfect every day where I'm pushing big miles and stuff, and I think it worked out good because it gave my knee a rest today also, and yesterday, just doing less miles both of those days, because I have been doing 18-19 mile days pretty regularly since the beginning. But anyway, guys, see you later. We will see you tomorrow bright and early. Take care. Thank you.